Hey Jody, it's Wednesday. That means spooky story time.
Please like and subscribe, because this week we are telling our own spooky happenings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Would you like to do the honors of going first?
I will do. So last week hang on. I love my mug.
I love your mug too. Guys, if you'd like to get this mug, this is not a promotion, we're just putting it out there. But tell them where you got it from, Jody.
Wickwood Cottage. So Leanne
Wickle
was in the local
Cottage.
town. And she called me. She's like, "Oh my God, the shop's opening and it's so you." And we went in, and the owners are so lovely. And it's like all dark cottage core and just
In fairy
loveliness.
doors.
Facebook and YouTube as well.
Yeah, we will put their tags below, guys, in the description bar if you're because I believe they deliver. So yeah, we will put them below because they have a lot of cutesy stuff that's right down our
They
alley.
do. They do some lovely artwork that they do themselves as well.
And furniture.
Yeah. Oh, it's just lovely. And with it all
Hand
being unique
painted.
stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah. One of a
Right.
kind, unique, hand done.
Yeah. Good prices too. I was
Oh,
surprised.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So if you remember last week, I read with permission a Reddit post about somebody who was getting bruised from
Mm.
the spirit, and it reminded me of what happened when I was in like my early 20s. So I went to York, which is a city in England. It's quite historical and it's beautiful. And we stayed in this really old hotel. I think it was called Queen Anne. Gorgeous old building. And one night I woke up, I could hear screaming, like full blown
Banshee!
screaming. Well, the thing is, it turns out it was me screaming. I
You
just
woke
didn't
yourself up
realise.
screaming?
I did, and I was jumping. I was on the floor jumping and screaming that there was a child hanging off my leg. I was like, get it off, it really hurts," kind of thing, screaming the place down. I put all the lights on and everything, and I had a look, and I'd got fingertip bruises down my leg, on both legs. I don't know if I've still got a photo because it was so long ago, because I'm getting old, and I was about 23,
She's not
24.
that old.
um, but yeah, I couldn't sleep that night. I love the dark. Absolutely love the dark. And I put the lights on, and this was at like about 3 a.m. And I literally just sat there for the rest of the night. I could not switch off. I was convinced that there was something in the corner of the room that wanted to hurt me. But then, oh my God, the next day I went down for breakfast, and because it was only a small place, it was quite a communal thing. So everyone were chatting in the dining room, the other guests. And this older couple said, "Oh my goodness, did you all hear the poor woman screaming outside last night?" And another couple were going, "Yeah, I couldn't see where it was coming from. I was so worried that someone was being attacked and, hurt basically." And they were like, "God, poor woman." And I could feel my face burning, like burning
Mm.
up. And they were looking at me. I was like, "I'm so sorry. That was me."
You told him.
You know what I'm
I'd have
like?
taken that to the grave.
I know, but you know what I'm like. I'm very honest and I don't think about it. It just comes out like verbal diarrhea. I was mortified and they were like, "Oh my God, what happened?" I told them and they were just like, "Oh." But yeah, I had another 2 nights there and I was just so unsettled the whole time. It was
Oh, no, I
horrible.
wouldn't. I'd have checked out that day.
Just before I could drive
Mm.
and everything though, I'd have had to faff about with non-refundable train tickets and,
Yeah. Sometimes people always say, "Get out of there, don't do that again." And they don't realize the cost of things. Like when people buy a house, they're like, "Yeah, I'd just move house."
well, it's
People's
like,
financial ties.
like when we covered the Enfield haunting, because they were a very average family in England. People were like, "Oh,
Mhm.
just move." It's not that easy to just move house unless you're
Especially
wealthy.
on your council list.
I know. Oh, ridiculous. But we've had a few spooky happenings between us, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm going to tell the story of Thomas.
Oh God,
So,
Thomas.
this is when, Jodie had gone to high school, so I was still in middle school. How old are we in middle school here? I've been in America too long.
Well, it's primary school here, isn't it? So you're
Yeah.
there from 4 until 11.
No, I wasn't walking home from Hamilton, I was walking home from Grove, so it was middle school, junior
Junior
school.
school. See, normally
Yes.
in England, it's just primary, but we went to one of the few that said primary and a junior. So you'd have been 10.
Okay, so I'd have been 10. So I'd just started walking home by myself because Jodie had gone to high school. And England is old. Basically, we grew up in the potteries where a lot of the layouts in the houses were built for workers. So there's a lot of what are they called? The houses together, like your house,
Terraced houses.
terrace houses,
Mm.
and it was all terrace houses. Walking down the street from the school, you would pass I think it was a mill where you could smell like wheat and stuff. Do you remember that?
Vaguely. There's a
Um,
lot of factories and hot banks, isn't there?
Yeah, but then you'd walk down some more streets, and I would walk with my friend because that's where she lived then. So then from that point on, I'd be walking by myself, and I would be walking on the main road. So I thought I was safe. Stupid me. But I'd be walking up on the main road, and I would have to walk past what's called Forest Park, and I'll put a picture up so you can see the layout. But as soon as I would read to Forest Park, I would meet my friend Thomas. And me and Thomas would walk because it was like all uphill from there on the main road till it led to our house because we lived on the main road.
Mhm.
And I don't know what school Thomas went to at the time. I just know we would meet there and we would have good conversation, ask about my day. We'd be talking about different things, talk about stuff around Forest Park, just general chit chat with your friend.
Oh,
And by the time we got to the house, say goodbye, and I'd be like, I was child. I would be like, oh, maybe they walk past the house. We'd always say
yeah.
bye, and then I would go inside. And then as I got older, I realized I was aging and Thomas wasn't. But again, I still didn't think too much of it till I got to high school. And then I
Yeah.
realized Thomas was wearing the the shorts that came to your knees, like that plaid material,
I know what you mean.
but it was
Mm.
kinda like a bronze brown dark color, and it was like he would
Yeah,
wear
they'd have been woolen.
yeah, and then he wore like a dirty shirt and the suspenders. But I didn't question it because every school had different uniforms. I didn't know that was part of their uniform, but they had like the farmer's cap on.
Oh, yeah, the flat caps. Oh, they were very popular in like the 20s and 30s, weren't
Yeah,
they?
and, it had a button missing on the very top. And as I was in high school, I realized, like, he did not age, and then I think it was years later when somebody came and knocked on the house and realized that basically a lot of our spooky happenings in that house could be down to this, where they said that it was actually built on the coal mine.
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, because when you start paying attention to your memory, because part of me was like, "Oh, we just kept walking, this house is further along." But and
Yeah.
realistically, he would turn around like this and start facing that way, and then I wouldn't see anything else.
Yeah, because if you went through a lot of cut-throughs and ginnels, it's the wreck,
Yeah,
which the mine was to the side of the wreck, wasn't it? We
yeah,
discovered when we were researching.
yeah. So I was
And a lot of children were sent down the mines back then, weren't they?
yeah, because they were so small, unfortunately. But I
Oh,
didn't ever get any
poor children.
negative feeling from him, but I saw him as well as I see you right now. There was no thought process whatsoever to where I would think he was a ghost.
I was having a conversation with someone on Reddit last night who'd had a ghostly experience. And he said that it filled them with dread. And someone said, "Oh, did you not engage with it?" And there was a bit of a debate on whether you should or shouldn't. And I said, "I think it depends on the energy.
How
If
you
you feel
feel,
dread,
yeah.
don't. If you're not
I
feeling
felt
dread and you
safe.
feel comfortable, yeah, I think it's you need to trust your instincts, don't you? Some
You
people are
definitely
good at
need to
picking up
listen
on
to your
energy
body.
and some people aren't.
Not an excited feeling because exciting can be scared, but, like, in this scenario, I
Yeah,
felt like I was walking home with my school friends. I felt safe.
yeah. It was company, yeah, because you were only young and it was quite a walk.
Yeah, and they walked me
Yeah,
right to the front of the yard and then would leave. So I think maybe they were just trying to make sure because of how they died that I was safe walking home.
it's quite nice really, isn't it? I've got
Yeah,
a comforting one, it's not a long story. Um, that first house that I lived in, just me and my eldest, um, the night I moved in, I don't know what possessed me, but I was watching Japanese horror movies that night, and I remember watching The Audition, which is
because it's
still one
just
of
the
the
right thing to
weirdest.
do when you move into a new house is to watch Japanese horror
First
movies and
time
terrorize
living,
yourself.
yeah, completely alone, the only adult in the house with my eldest who was a toddler. Well, he'd have been about 1. Um, and I can remember feeling quite scared going to sleep.
That's why
I
you
was
play
quite
Disney
young.
movies.
Yeah, I know that now. I know that now. And I woke up and I felt so warm. I was all like snuggled and I could feel arms around me and thought, oh,
Mm.
this is so nice. I love a good cuddle. And then the more I woke up, I thought, I live alone. It's cuddling me. But it felt really nice. I felt so
Yeah.
comforted because I'd been so upset the day before. My life was going through a massive change and it's never happened again. But I did. I felt so safe and comforted.
I bet it was
There was
Nanny.
nothing there that I could see. But yeah, it's not always negative, is it? It just isn't.
No, not always, no. Do you have a creepy story?
I do in the same house. So my eldest, I mean, he could be a little bit of an oddbod as a child in a good way. He's on the spectrum, he's quirky. Um,
Think
but he
everybody
had
in our
this,
family's got some quirk. We're either on the spectrum or have ADHD or both.
yeah, she's ADHD, I'm on the spectrum.
Together
Some
we
of us are
make a half a
unfortunate enough to have
human.
both. Um, but he had this friend, and Zachary, I mean, Matty could barely speak, could he? At
No.
that point, he
He
was
was a delayed
non-verbal,
speaker, yeah.
but I think it was by choice because when he did speak, it was like he'd never not spoken. Um, and I could hear him saying Zachary, and I'm so confused because I don't even know a Zach, let alone a Zachary.
Mm.
And he talked to Zachary in his room and all of these peculiar things, but you'd get this cold feeling when you went in, really cold. And one night I'd got an old friend over and her child who was a similar age, and I heard a door slam and screaming. So I ran upstairs and I couldn't open the door.
Oh god,
It
that
wasn't
terrified
a
me.
stiff door or anything, and I'm shoving against it. I'm shoving. There's no lock on the door. It wasn't even an old door. I
No, it was
finally
pretty
got
lightweight,
in.
wasn't it? I remember those doors.
Yeah. Um, and I finally got into the room and it just felt horrible. But then the other child that was there was sobbing on the floor, and my eldest was sat on top of the wardrobe giggling.
Like he climbed on
How
top of the wardrobe.
Yeah, but he was only small.
And for context for American viewers, our closets are not always built in here. So you
Rarely.
have the wardrobes where you can put stuff on top of, which leads to our next story.
Oh, no.
Oh, you probably know which one I'm talking about when I say the wardrobe. All right, so me and Jodie here. We got along when we were younger, but when we hit puberty, like, and we started puberty fairly early too, but we were frenemies, to put
About
it
2
nice,
years
for about
of
2 years of
yeah,
yeah. Um, and we had bunk beds, but we didn't have designated beds. It was like whoever won whatever. Basically, we always wanted the top.
we'd barter and bargain,
We
wouldn't we?
yes, tooth and nail, I will give you my unborn child. No, okay, not that extreme, but
No. I'll tickle your back if I could have the top bunk.
yes, because when I was younger, the only way you could get me to sleep was to tickle my back, and she was the best tickler. She was the best tickler. I miss those days. But But anyway, it was Jodie's turn. Jodie got the top bunk that day, and I got the bottom bunk. So that's another story came to remembrance while I was thinking about it with
We must
mom.
be on about a different story because I was on the bottom bunk in the one I'm thinking of, and you jumped in the end of my bed.
No, you were on the top bunk because I climbed up to you.
Ah, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't get out of bed.
The one on the
Yeah.
bottom bunk was when mum came in the room, and it wasn't mum.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that till you
The
said that.
mimic. Yeah. But, sorry, back on track. So, she'd won the top bunk, I had the bottom bunk, and I was a fucking knob. I was a knob. When she would get the top bunk, because I was being a peevish little brat, I would put my feet in the bars and push them up because I was a little twat.
Yeah,
And, I think I'd just finally given up doing that, and we just started to doze. None of us had gone to sleep, so it's not like a dream or anything that we shared. It was literally we were both awake because 'cause I'd just
yeah.
stopped doing that, and I'd finally turned over. And the way it was, we had 2 alcoves, like, our beds were here, and we had 2 alcoves, and each one had a wardrobe on it with a space above it.
Mm,
And we hear I don't know if you remember this, but, like, the on the door, and we just thought it was our mum, like, getting ready to tell us to shut the fuck
yeah.
up. So we're being quiet, and it's like this black mass. It didn't open the door, it came through the door because the door was at the end of the bunk beds, and it just kind of
It was only small,
formed.
wasn't it?
Yeah, but you could see the form of an outline, and the best way I could describe it is not Disney Peter Pan, but the original Peter Pan outline. Would you concur to that? Would you agree to that outline?
Small
It was
and a bit
definitely small
dark.
and had, like,
Yeah.
the hair shape is what I'm saying, like a weird
Mm.
it didn't quite form like a
Short and
head.
shaggy.
Yeah,
Mm.
it didn't quite form. It's like it phased at the ends, but it was like a black mass at a figure, and it came through the door, walked past us over here to the wardrobe, got on the wardrobe like a hunch, like the best way I can describe it is if you've seen Notebook, how he sits on the chair with his
Mm.
knees up and his arms between, like, down through his legs, and it just looked at us. And this black mass had a fucking grin, and then it disappeared. And then all you hear
Yeah.
me is, Jody.
I just felt a clambering at the bottom of my bed, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that better be Leanne."
And she said, and she's like, yeah. I was like, "Did you see that?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Can I sleep with you tonight?"
Yeah.
And then I was on the bed. Oh gosh.
No,
We really do need to
that
write
was
them a letter to
creepy.
that house to see if they've had any weird experiences in there.
I know, we
'Cause I
said
want
we
to know if
were
that
hoping to
energy was with
contact
the
him, didn't we?
house or with the family.
Yeah. You never know, do you?
No. Well, I guess as we already talked about the back then we thought it was our mom sleepwalking, but after all the research of mimics and stuff now, what do you reckon about that? Do you want to say what happened and then we'll discuss?
Well, it's happened twice to me when I was the first time I was much, much younger, and I can remember I've spoke to mum about it quite a few times when I was younger. So the first time, you were very small,
Mm.
and I woke up and I was unwell, and I can still remember I must have been about 5, and I was wearing a Tweety Pie top jumper, and I was sick, and there was someone sat next to the bed, but it looked like mum. It didn't feel negative, but I was convinced it was mum, and I later learned that she wasn't sat at the side of the bed. Wasn't actually anywhere she could have sat. But then, obviously, fast forward, what, maybe 7 or 8 years, and we had our experience.
I want you to say that long because we were only about I were about 7, so you were about 8. So between yeah, you were about
I
8.
was 10 when we moved into that
And
house.
Alley Road?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I would have been 8 then. Okay.
Yeah, you would have been, yeah.
And then that experience was basically our mom, per se, would just like I said, we had bunk beds, the layout was still the same, and she would
Mm,
just walk into the room and just stand there like she's looking at us, and then she sat on the end of the bed, by my feet, and then she walked out, and whenever we brought it up to her, she'd be like, "Oh, I was probably sleepwalking, it wasn't me," or
Yeah, because one time it got in bed with me when I was on the bottom bunk and I was
yeah,
freaked out. And
but
she's
we've
like, "Oh, I
never
was
known
just
mum to actually
sleepwalking."
sleepwalk.
I've never seen a sleepwalk. I sleepwalk.
Yeah.
My poor husband. He's woken up with me jumping on the bed screaming. Another time leaning over and I was tracing an outline around his body, just leaning over him while he's asleep doing this around his body.
Poor Joe.
I know.
That's how you know he really loves you.
It
Because
does.
if
It's
my
a good
significant other
mentality.
was just standing over me, not coherent, outline tracing my body, I think they were planning my murder.
I know. He's the best though.
He's the best, though. We love us some Joe.
We do.
Mm. We do have plenty more stories, but I think next week what we should do is tell 2 fake stories, 1 each, and 2 real stories, 1 each, and let everybody guess which
Yeah.
ones are real and which ones are not.
Oh,
Do,
I
do,
like
do,
a
do, 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 do,
challenge.
do.
I do. I like a challenge. I like
Yes,
this.
I think we should
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for grabbing a brew with us, guys. And please tune in to our Monday deep dives and our stories every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we will have more
Yeah.
in-depth creepy stories. We're just
Yeah.
dipping your toes in the water to the lighter side of our experiences.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can
Yeah.
describe it.
And don't forget, if you've got anything you would like us to research or you have your own stories,
Please
either
send them.
comment below, yeah, or to grabyourbrew@gmail.com.
Or
Make
you
sure you
can,
label them
yeah.
because Leanne's a pleb.
And you can DM us on any of our social medias, but please send us your most
Yeah.
creepy, unhinged stories. We're here for it.
Doesn't have to be paranormal.
Does it have
It
to be
can be just
paranormal?
creepy. No.
Sometimes humans,
Unusual, peculiar.
and humans are scarier than ghosts sometimes.
Humans are definitely scarier than ghosts. Oh,
Not scarier than deep. Well, yeah, I guess it could, because it could be a human possessed demon.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you have an amazing week. Please, please, please like, subscribe, help our channel grow. Thank you so much.